إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. ونصلي ونسلم ونبارك على سيد الخلق صلاة وسلاما عليك يا سيدي يا رسول الله. اللهم صل عليه في الأولين وصل عليه في الآخرين وصل عليه في كل ملأ وحين. اللهم صل عليه في الملأ الأعلى إلى يوم الدين. صل عليه عدد ما عرج بين السماوات والأرض وصل عليه ملء ما بين السماوات والأرض. اللهم صل عليه ملء ما يرضيك يا رب العالمين. أما بعد, brothers and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us the story of Prophet Musa and the Pharaoh. And this surah specifically has been spread out in the whole Qur'an multiple times, but not in the same way. SubhanAllah, when you analyze it, you will find that every time Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you like a snapshot of something. And that's why it's not a repetition, it's the way that has been said to enable you, if you want to understand something, you have to get all the ayat, analyze it, and then you will find you can extract this massive amount of wisdoms and messages in this story specifically. And today, I'm going to take one thing, which is al-ulama, scholars call it the 6 pillars of dictatorship. It's spread out in the story, but you have to extract each and every one from different ayahs. SubhanAllah. The first one, SubhanAllah, the character himself, Pharaoh himself, the person. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving you, send you that person even before his type of personality is an arrogant. That's a personality itself. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us that very interesting snapshot in Surah Al-Naml. When you have seen the evidence from Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in Surah Al-Naml, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, وَجَحَدُوا بِهَا وَاسْتَيْقَنَتْهَا أَنفُسُهُمْ ظُلْمًا وَعُلُوًّا. SubhanAllah, this ayah, to understand it, you have to read it in a different way. وَجَحَدُوا بِهَا ظُلْمًا وَعُلُوًّا وَاسْتَيْقَنَتْهَا أَنفُسُهُم. يعني they denied what they have seen. They cannot have no doubt that's not magic. It has to be something powerful. Inside their heart, they believe in it. وَاسْتَيْقَنَتْهَا. So inside their heart, they believe there's no way that's a magic. But we cannot challenge Musa. Subhanallah. But why they have done this? ظُلْمًا وَعُلُوًّا, arrogance. Arrogance pushed them not, subhanallah, not to believe. That's the type of person. And another example, أَنَا رَبُّكُمُ الْأَعْلَى, I'm your highest God. The type of person is an arrogant. That's the problem. So this is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us these 2 ayat to tell you the person himself has a problem. The person himself, Fir'aun. And then he said in another ayah, أَلَيْسَ لِي مُلْكُ مَصْرَ وَهَذِهِ الْأَنْهَارُ تَجْرِي مِنْ تَحْتِي. Don't you see that Egypt, I am the king of Egypt, and all the running rivers, running beneath me, subhanallah. He can see himself above, because they said actually, Allahu A'lam, and if there's nothing to prove it, that his palace was like over a bridge or something. وَهَذِهِ الْأَنْهَارُ تَجْرِي مِنْ تَحْتِي. So that's the person himself type. That led to that type of what we call it, political tyranny, استبداد سياسي. So that means ما أريكم إلا ما أرى وما أهديكم إلا سبيل الرشاد. It's only my opinion. That's it. And that's what we want you to follow. And that's the best. So that means it's not a question from you. That the topic is, Allah showed us that he's an arrogant. So that means he's not going to allow anybody to ask him or to discuss with him. So that's the type of person, subhanallah. ما أريكم إلا ما أرى وما أهديكم إلا سبيل الرشاد. Subhanallah, in another ayah, when he is in a corner, he's been, the evidence from Sayyidina Musa was, they had no doubt. And Sayyidina Musa, in a very interesting dialogue, in the beginning, Sayyidina Musa has been very scared because he killed one of them, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him, I'll be with you. He's not going to do anything. And he hasn't. when he started to talk about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the creator and is this, and then he told his people, liman hawlu, which is his batana, as we said it in Arabic. Those are assist him. They are the same type of persons, by the way. ألا تستمعون? يعني someone has to tell him something. Everybody around him, they have no point to argue with Sayyidina Musa. And that's why he needs support. And even the people they are the same type, but they cannot have any answers. Subhanallah. And Sayyidina Musa continue. قال ربكم ورب آبائكم الأولين. He's the same thing. قال إن رسولكم الذي أرسل إليكم لمجنون. This messenger who has been sent to you is an insane. He's crazy. How can he said that? Because in his mind, his words from Sayyidina Musa is very strong. And now he started scared that even the supporters could be shaken out in this case. And then Sayyidina Musa continued, قال رب المشرق والمغرب. So that means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وما بينهما. East and west, he's the same thing. And then the only way for Fir'aun to stop him, then if you are going to take any other God but me, لأجعلنك من المسجونين. I'll put you back in prison. So that means that's the only way to stop. That's the arrogance. Everybody around him did not say anything to Sayyidina Musa in this dialogue, subhanallah. But he is the only one, he's tried to defend his position. Because the evidence from Sayyidina Musa has no doubt that it is not just a magic or a simple magic, as we said, subhanallah. So that is the type of political tyranny. And then, for that political tyranny to continue, economy has to support. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, where is this? And Allah give us one example, Qarun. Al-Ajib, this is very interesting. Qarun himself, he's one of the Banu Israel, and he's one who memorized Torah, subhanallah. Yani 4 has been memorizing Torah, and even Qarun was one of them. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ينظر إلى القلوب. And this is something important. You can be memorizing Qur'an, the whole Qur'an, but are you doing what the Qur'an is saying? There's a difference between memorizing it and doing what the Qur'an is saying. And Allah مطلع على القلوب. إن الله ينظر إلى قلوبكم. Allah is looking at your heart. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us, push him to say, that's the Fir'aun himself. That's Qarun himself. إنما أوتيته على علم عندي. Qarun was a chemist. And Allah gave him a lot of knowledge. And he made huge, massive amount of money. Subhanallah. Yani Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us how big is the money. It's tons of money in his storage. مفاتيحه لا تنوء بالعصبة أولي. Yani imagine the keys itself, his slaves are carrying the keys because it has lots of gold inside. And then the arrogance on top of that, he came into the point where he denied all of that. إنما أوتيته على علم عندي. That's not my knowledge. So it is my knowledge, and that means not Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave me this. That's called kufr al-ni'mah. Kufr al-shukr billah. ولذلك subhanallah, when you thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's iman. That's the faith in your heart that you are thanking it, and you are actually appreciating that Allah is helping you. Admitting. If you deny all of that, that's وَلِعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ كُفْرٍ. ولذلك كفر الشكر بالله, that is one of the type of kufr. And Qarun was that example. He denied completely that any of that knowledge is from Allah. إِنَّمَا أُوتِيتُهُ عَلَىٰ عِلْمٍ. That's because I'm intelligent. I have the knowledge. I have done this and I have done that. And he denies completely. And he's one of the supporters, subhanallah. ولذلك الله سبحانه وتعالى يعني إن فرعون وهامان وقارون, the 3 of them has been the same thing. Why? Because it has to be, يعني Fir'aun himself has to select the people of his type, the people who could support the arrogance, the system that he wants. And the 4th one is using the media. There is no media during his time, but it's the same thing. When he started to challenge Sayyidina Musa, So that means he needs the magicians. طيب, when he needs the magicians, subhanallah, شوف الله في سورة الشعراء, he needs those people. But before he needs them, he has to convince the people that these people, which is Sayyidina Musa and Sayyidina Harun, are very dangerous. So what he has done, he has to give that message to the people that these are very dangerous. And that's why, subhanallah, said, فَأَرْسَلَ فِرْعَوْنُ فِي الْمَدَائِنِ حَاشِرِينَ. Allah used the word حاشرين, that means aggressively. إِنَّ هَؤُلَاءِ لَشِرْذِمَةٌ قَلِيلُونَ. These ones are very little people. وَإِنَّهُمْ لَنَا لَغَائِظُونَ. You enraged us, provoking us. وَإِنَّ لَجَمِيعٌ حَاذِرُونَ. طيب, why جميعا? يعني why you put everybody that has to be on alert? He is on alert because he finds out that his kingdom is now in very, very, very critical position. But he has to build that environment, or he has to build that sense to the people. So he has to make the others are guilty. It's exactly the same. So that means he sent his people, and then he used the word hashirin, that means aggressively convincing the people. They have to obey because that's the king. He's sending a message, and everybody has to agree. Nobody can argue this. Even a lot of people have not seen anything because that happens in the palace. But he has to sell himself first of all that these people are very dangerous. فأرسل في المدائن حاشرين إن هؤلاء لشرذمة قليلون وإنهم لنا لغائظون وإنا لجميع حاذرون. Subhanallah. The same thing, the same mentality of aggression to the people. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه. الحمد لله وكفى والصلاة والسلام على النبي المصطفى اليمين والشمال وضله الطريق الوسطى هي الجادة عليها ذات الكتاب ومنبر السنة هلك من ادعى وخاب من افترى وهلك أعداؤنا وأعداء الله. Then again, he wants the magicians to come and to challenge Sayyidina Musa. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used the same word فأرسل في المدائن حاشرين أتوك بكل سحار عليم. يعني again, he sent his forces aggressively, taking all the magicians. وسحار عليم, very professional, very, very well skilled. When you read the details behind it, they ask, what is his type of magic? And they've told him, he throw a stick, changed to a snake. So that means they have been in, as we said, ready. So they did exactly the same thing. They prepared sticks that will move exactly the same as the snakes. Even Sayyidina Musa, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَأَوْجَسَ فِي نَفْسِهِ خِيفَةً مُوسَى. Even Musa himself have seen this and started to shake. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told, أَوْحَى إِلَيْهِ قُلْنَا لَا تَخَفْ, don't be scared. إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ الْأَعْلَى, you are the winner. أَلْقِ مَا فِي يَمِينِكَ, just throw your stick. تلقف ما صنعوا. هنا كلمة تلقف عشان just understand. كلمة تلقف يعني it will eat everything. It's not just a stick that moves like a snake. No, it's a true snake that will eat. And at that point in time, Sahara has been shocked. That's not magic. That's not magic. It's far beyond this one. But look at how he get them. أرسل في المدائن حاشرين, and then aggressively using force again to get them to the king. And that's why when they came in, أَإِنَّ لَنَا لَأَجْرًا إِن كُنَّا نَحْنُ الْغَيْبِينَ, we are going to get some benefits if we are. نعم وإنكم لمن المقربين. Yes, you will get all the benefits because he is the king. Well, subhanallah, when they have been defeated and then he threatened them to torture them, they mention ما أكرهتنا عليه من السحر. So that tells you they have not been coming in willingly. No, أكرهتنا, يعني being forced us to come. Subhanallah, using aggression to the fast limit to enforce his point. Subhanallah. But then the last point of these pillars of aggression or pillars of dictatorship, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned the main, which is the last one. فَاسْتَخَفَّ قَوْمَهُ فَأَطَاعُوا إِنَّهُمْ كَانُوا قَوْمًا فَاسِقِينَ. That's the key one. كلمة استخف قومه, he fooled his people. When you're fooling the people and the people let you to continue, فَأَطَاعُوا, and they obey him. But why they've done this? إِنَّهُمْ كَانُوا قَوْمًا فَاسِقِينَ. They are disobedient to Allah, and that's the reason. When the face and the heart is weak, then they are not going to do anything. And that means dictatorship will continue. That is the key, maybe ayah. So in the six pillars, the last one tells you the key message, because Pharaoh will not be able to extend his aggression, extend his arrogance, without the people who are very weak. فاستخفاف القوم. He's been fooling the people, and the people obey him. إنهم كانوا قوما فاسقين. The reason is that they are, كلمة فاسق هو الخروج عن الطاعة, disobedient from what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered them to do. And because of that, they continue as is. And that's the key message. In these six pillars, actually, subhanallah, when you take them from the story, collect them, and you apply it in different countries around the world, subhanallah, happens thousands and thousands and thousands of years. But the same example is repeated itself in a different way. So using the media now, it's the internet, using this one, it's like this one, and so on. But the key message in the key ayat and the key wisdom is exactly the same. If you can move it a little bit one step, there are people standing outside, jazakumullah khair. They are stating the same message, the same aggression, the same arrogance, and that's the reason where these types of tyranny exist. Subhanallah. And Allah highlighted this in Surah Musa in a different way, that to tell us it's either that you have to change yourself. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not change anything in your environment unless you change your heart, unless you change your attitude, unless you obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then everything around you will change. If you don't change, nothing will change. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and He told us, Huda Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is only coming to the people who obey Him. وَالَّذِينَ اهْتَدَوْا زِدْنَاهُمْ هُدًى. خلي بالك الاهتداء في اهتداء دلالة وفي اهتداء إعانة. What do I mean? والهدى two main types. هدى دلالة يعني guidance. You have to accept what Rasulullah عليه الصلاة والسلام told you, haram and halal. That's step number one. طيب, if you accept this one, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you the level 2, which is huda al-i'ana. That comes from Allah only. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Rasulullah عليه الصلاة والسلام, إنك لا تهدي من أحببت ولكن الله يهدي من يشاء. What does Allah mean here? Huda al-i'ana, that support and facilitation only comes from Allah. To who? To people accept the first level of huda, which is guidance. So you have to accept and obey Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam. That's number one. Once you do that, you will get this in the second level. One of the scholars put it in a very interesting way. He said, let's assume that you are driving somewhere and you want some address. You stop someone and ask him. He's going to tell you go left and right and so on. Now, if you tell him, Jazakallah khair, thank you very much, then he's going to tell you something different or something on top. What was that? He's going to tell you, but while you are taking this, when there is road works, so you have to slow down. He has to tell you, no, that's a facilitation. That's the level 2 of the guidance. It's exactly the same. وَالْمَثَلُ الْأَعْلَى لِلَّهِ. So you have to accept this to get this top. If you don't accept this, you will not get the next one. Not only this, وَلِيَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ, it could lead to completely kufr, وَلِيَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you don't accept this one and obey Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam, then that facilitation and support, you will not get it. And that's complete loss. Wallahi, brothers and sisters, I've seen people who has been arguing about a lot of things. And now I could see them. They literally out of Islam completely. Because they've rejected the level 1, they'll not get level 2. And that means they are going to be out. And think about it this way, where you are in level 1. When you accept it, for example, waking up in Fajr, yeah, it's very difficult, it's very cold. But if you do this one, Allah will push you and help you to do it. Because you accept level 1, accept the guidance. There is always a challenge. We are very weak, but Allah will help you. But if you don't accept this one, you will not get this one. I hope these 6 points and what I've seen recently will change your heart, will enable you to rethink about the obedience of Allah. Dhikrullah subhanahu wa ta'ala is one of the key points. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Ankabut told us, وَلَذِكْرُ اللَّهِ أَكْبَرُ. Akbar, that means greater than salah. Why? Dhikrullah akbar min as-salah? Yes. Why? Because when you do salah, you have to do wudu. You have to get the direction. You have to do, so there is certain things. Dhikr, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to be in wudu, you don't have to get any direction, you don't have any, at any time, at any point, dhikrullah akbar. وذكر الله سبحانه وتعالى تلين به القلوب. Hearts will get softened. That will help you to obey Allah. But that needs practicing. It doesn't happen like this. No, you need to practice this to enable you to do this one. I hope, inshallah, the message is clear to everybody, because every one of us has his own challenge, either personal or business or whatever. And we need to do a change in our hearts, to enable a change in our life. Because without the change in the heart, everything will stay as is. And that's the only way. لا يغير الله ما بقوم حتى يغيروا ما بأنفسهم. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم. اللهم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. اللهم ارحمنا فأنت بنا راحم ولا تعذبنا فأنت علينا قادر. والطف بنا يا مولانا فيما جرت به المقادير. اللهم اجعل جمعنا هذا جمعا مرحوما وتفرقنا تفرقا معصوما ولا تجعل فينا ضالا ولا محروما. اللهم تقبل منا ما استطعنا أكرم الأكرمين يا رب العالمين. اللهم يا من أعلم بضعفنا وحالنا وقلة حيلتنا تقبل منا ما استطعنا يا أرحم الراحمين. أعنا على طاعتك وحسن عبادتك على الوجه الذي يرضيك يا رب العالمين. اللهم يسر على ألسنتنا القرآن يا أكرم الأكرمين. اللهم يسر علينا قراءته ويسر علينا فهمه ويسر علينا تدبره. إنك أعلم بضعفنا وحالنا وأنت أرحم الراحمين يا رب العالمين. اللهم يا ذا الجلال والإكرام لا تحرمنا شربة من حوض حبيبك ومصطفاك وسيد خلقك يا كريم يا رب. اللهم لا تحرمنا هذا يا كريم يا رب. اللهم اجعلنا في صحبته والله لا تحرمنا شفاعته يا رب العالمين. اللهم اجعلنا من شفعائه يا رب العالمين. اللهم اجعلنا من شفعائه وأنت أعلم بنا وضعفنا يا كريم يا رب العالمين. اللهم آخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. وصلي وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وأقم الصلاة إن الصلاة كانت على المؤمنين كتابا موقوتا.